Are you ready to get evil as we have the Hellwitch Sacrilegious Kickstarter preview? Are you ready? Welcome back to Crucial Com, people. Here we are, 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. This is the exclusive Hellwitch preview. But for now, I'd like to introduce our very own Hellwitch, Miss Brandy Sparkles.
It's me. I'm Hellwitch.
She's a little excited and high-pitched to be Hellwitch. I'm just saying. Can you be a little more baritone? But you were telling before you went live, you were saying like she.
This is me.
This is you.
This is what I looked like 20 years ago before I discovered bread. And this.
It's her spirit
Isn't
out.
it beautiful? She's so beautiful.
And that's by Mike Mayhew. That's our legend tier artist.
Yeah.
This is part of Brandy's contract. So you're great. Now,
Okay, bye everybody.
great job, Brandy Sparkles, our very own Hellwitch. Thank you, Brandy. Yeah, so in less than 3 weeks, we're launching Hellwitch Sacrilegious Kickstarter. We're crazy enough to use the word sacrilegious, which bugs out all social media platforms, but we're doing it. So I'm about to show you, if Jimmy Calabrese, you want to take in a little bit of what we're going to show. We're going to show you a part of the campaign. We're going to talk about the different things behind these question marks, different things. We're going to show you some of the pages and tell you the story. So without further ado, let me bust out my handy dandy clipboard and I'm going to tell you the story. So this is how we see it. Hellwitch Sacrilegious. No escape, no forgiveness, no mercy. Stripped of her magic and thrown into the bowels of hell's most notorious prison, Hellwitch becomes locked in a savage struggle for survival. Gangs of desperate inmates threaten to brutalize her. Cruel guards scheme to humiliate her, and a sadistic warden vows to break her spirit. Can Hellwitch overcome their onslaughts of twisted violence, or will she fall victim to the prison's dark depravity? Come on, it's Hellwitch. So look, that's a little bit of a setup. This is the 3rd chapter in Hellwitch's life. And Hellwitch actually appeared, before she had her own comic, she's actually appeared in several of Lady Death chapters. So her first appearance was in the 2nd Lady Death chapter called Damnation Game. Then she made key appearances in chapters 6 and 7, Unholy Ruin and Apocalyptic Abyss. And this really set up this acrimonious relationship between Lady Death and Hellwitch. So for those of you who don't know, Hellwitch is of the Hellborn, and they are the native population in the Coffin Comics Hell. And demons and archdukes and satanists, characters like that, they are interlopers. They are colonizers who came to that world, that realm, long after. So the Hellborn hold it that they are the holier of the denizens of hell. And Hellborn are actually hatched. And when Hellwitch was born, she was hatched to the lowest caste in an underground system, not unlike, let's say, bees or ants. And she was actually born as a lowly sanitation worker. In the first storyline, Hellborn, we detailed her rise from lowly pit slave all the way up to challenging the queen herself. Then in the 2nd chapter, The Forsaken, we began to see Hellwitch learning key lessons to becoming basically a supervillain. Her mentor and a character that she idolizes is the character Seance. This is a longtime character of mine who I adore, who appeared in the Chaos Comics era and is part of our universe. And in that particular storyline called The Forsaken, Seance was actually trying to teach her no remorse. And the question was she ready? And I think in this particular storyline, Sacrilegious, we really answer that question. Is she really ready to just have no remorse? So without further ado, what I'd like to do, I've told you a little bit about the story. I want to show you some of the pages. So let's come over here and take a look at some of the pages and feast your eyes. So our illustrator for this particular storyline is Mr. Ed Bennis. And so I see Time of Dying wants to know more about Seance. He's a very mysterious character. He's, by design, he's one of those guys who's always behind the scenes, very powerful, highly manipulative. And, well, he's been appearing since the 90s. However, he was the warlock who put Lady Death in the cursed sleep, where she was asleep for over 20 years and awoke in her first chapter, Chaos Rules. So if we look at this beautiful illustrations by Ed Benes, now I'm going to show you the color by CC De La Cruz. So this is how the color turned out. You can feast your eyes on that. And this book is at the letterer, Marshall Dillon, as we speak. It is complete. This is 40 pages of story and art in a 40-page book. If we hit one of our stretch goals, we will expand it to 48 pages of story and art, which is our complete agenda. So Time of Dying says she finally has wings in the interiors. Hellwitch received her wings in her first chapter called Hellwitch Hellborn. Actually having died and resurrected, she definitely went to another place and she essentially received wings. So these are pages 2 and 3 by Ed Benes. And here is Hellwitch being accosted by the angel demon hybrid assassin Atrocitas. Atrocitas first appeared in Lady Death Extinction Express, which was chapter 3. And he is, because he's this bizarre hybrid of angel demon, he is also categorically insane. And here is how the color turned out on that work. And color by CC De La Cruz. Hellwitch, boy, right off the bat in the first 2-3 pages of this book, just getting her ass whooped. Brian seems to like the art. Thank you. Brian's got Hellwitch fever. Yeah, I think some of you boys and girls out there who participated in Sworn Day received some of these black and white or color pages that we use for promotion, like during this time, and that's exactly what they were. And then let me show you page 4. So here is page 4. Hellwitch lands. Atrocitas faces off against her, and within 4 pages, it's just not looking too good for Hellwitch. And then here are the colored pages by CC De La Cruz. So Jesus is saying a hardcover of that would be sick, and it will be. And I'm about to show you a mock-up of the hardcover. So we do hardcover versions of that. So that's some of the art for you to feast your eyes on. I'm going to set that up again. Proud of the work. So also like to let you know that due to extenuating circumstances, Ed Benes was able to complete up to page 33. So we're very lucky that Diego Bernard stepped in to complete the work, pages 34 to 48, and they're done. And it should be a seamless transition between the two artists. Diego Bernard actually is a protege of Ed Benes. So stylistically, I think you're going to see a lot of the two in common. So now let's move on and let me show you some of the additions that we're going to be offering during this. And this preview really is a preview of a preview. On October 7th at 4 p.m., we're going to do a full-scale, full-blown preview of every item that will be available on the Kickstarter for your consideration. But I figured since it's CrucialCon, and we're trying to show you some crucial information, this might be a good time to just let you know what's up. First up, we have the Premiere Edition. So the Premiere Edition cover is by Ed Benes and CC De La Cruz. Right now you see a green logo, and that actually represents what we hope to be an unlocked free bonus, which would be a green foil enhancement. You will notice that all books related to Hellwitch actually have the Coffin Skull, whom we call King Skull, with horns. and also the Hellwitch symbol. This is the Hellborn symbol, born of hell. So yeah, this is a nice, this will be our main edition. You could see her busting out of shackles. And this story is a women in prison story, Hellwitch in prison. I'll be right back. Please enjoy that. Be right back. Keep your voice down. I'm live. And moving on, we're going to now show you, this is a facsimile, a mock of the hardcover. And the hardcover is by Paolo Pantalena. And Paolo also did the colors, and they're very fluorescent. The trade dress shows all the people working. And so Hellwitch, Sacrilegious is co-written by myself and Mike McLean, illustrated by Ed Bennis and Diego Bernard, colored by CC De La Cruz, and lettered by veteran letterer Marshall Dillon. And I gotta, one thing I was present to as we're finishing up the dialogue is what a pleasure it is working with Mike McLean. I mean, it's so Mike McLean has co-written every Coffin comic item except one, but it's a real pleasure to work with him, going back and forth. And I find that he has such a polished style. I think we both have strengths, but what I appreciate about Mike's stuff is very smooth plotting, his very smooth dialogue. He brings a smoothness to stuff that I really, really appreciate. I view my own writing as like big ideas, cool moments, wild plot ideas. I just feel that Mike comes and smooths it all over. So big up to Mike. Can't thank him enough. And it really is a lot of fun working with Mike. And as we sit, we're offering Hellwitch Sacrilegious now. But as you may have heard, we're literally working on Latest Chapter 14, which we would offer next August. We're deep in that. And other projects. The aforementioned character Devillock is getting his own 2-chapter series, 96 pages of story. We're on that. And then in development is spin-offs for Chaotica and Lady Satanis. So, and more to come. We're just having fun. I think anytime we feel we have something extra to say about a character, we want to spin them off and let people know. So that's a little of that. More about that in tomorrow's publishing plan panel, which be a lot of fun. Be there. Next up, we have the Sun K Risque edition. So Sun K is having a year. Her popularity only increases. So happy to say that we've been working with her for close to 6 years. And this image is incredible. This is the Risque edition. I've actually been in possession of this wonderful image for over a year. So I'm so happy to present it to you now. Sun K did our last Risque edition on The Forsaken. And this particular image I also thought was very, very strong, very, very evocative. Color choices are amazing. Color contrast is incredible. I think people really, really relate to that. Yeah, super excited about that one. Next up, this is our first ever Risque Jewel edition. So it's a jewel edition, but it's risque. And we use the word risque to denote toplessness in our Coffin Comics books. Naughty is semi-topless, and then risque is topless. So this image is by Jose Varese, Jeremy Clark, and colored by Sanju Nivenjun. And I think this, I think Jose Varese just has a really cool, funky style, and really proud to publish this one. I think this image is just outrageous. Yeah, what else can be said? I'm going to, as you keep watching, I'm going to check some comments on that. So we got Carmen thinks it's amazing. People going crazy over the Sun K cover. And then Time of Dying is looking forward to the Lady Satanis book. Yeah, she's a fun character. Next up, we have the Holofoil edition. This features a cover by longtime contributor Richard Ortiz and colors by CC De La Cruz. And this will be produced in holofoil. Hellwitch is a fun character to do because she's just blatant about herself and she's no apologies, take no prisoners. She's a very heated and I call her a wet character. I think Lady Death is a very cool, cold, dry character, and she's the direct opposite. She provides a fantastic contrast and provides the space to be a great enemy. Yeah, I mean, I could see Lady Death being kind of like a Nordic metal woman, but I could see Hellwitch thriving in places like very hot places, like anything on the equator or Africa or deserts, that kind of stuff. That's how I see those characters being so different. Moving on, this is going to be the lenticular edition. So this is going to be a 3-part lenticular by Mike Crome, and this is part 1. And again, this is a mock-up and a facsimile of it. And then this is part 2. On the first one, here's Hellwitch simply posing, and then the second one, it appears as if she's choosing to take off her top. And then in the third one, it is revealed that is exactly what she's doing. And again, no apologies from Hellwitch on who she is about, her body, her sexuality, her simple brazen, just complete brazenness. So I think it's actually worked out really nice as 3 different images for a lenticular. So it's boom, 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 and boom, boom, boom. We should definitely be having a sample of that sometime during the campaign. Hopefully you enjoy those. That is by the phenomenal talent Mike Crome and colored by Sanju Nivenjune. Now, if you notice up here, we have a giant banner of our legend tier artist, Mike Mayhew. Now, Mike Mayhew was also contributed recently to the sold-out Lady Death Treacherous Infamy, and it was always the plan to have Mike also do Hellwitch. And by the time we get closer to the other preview, we'll show you how these images really pair up. But I actually call this Mayhew Madness. So it's Mayhew Madness here, Coffin Comics, with the Hellwitch Legend tier. And I'd like to show you those images. So first up, the crazy thing about this one is the Legend tiers will be offered in editions limited to 66 serial numbered copies. Once these copies are sold, they will not be offered as comic book covers again. So the Legend tier set includes the Legend edition, the Legend Risque edition, and then what we call the Legend Noir. And in addition, there will be a mystery edition included, and it will remain a mystery until backers receive their rewards in January. Hellwitch Sacrilegious will be offered October 14th. We're going to close about a month later, and then we're going to ship in January. And we're going to do all that stuff because Coffin don't play. And unlike the last, and look, there's a lot of sex, violence, and bad behavior in this particular chapter. So we are working with a printer who doesn't mind that stuff. So that part's we learned. Now, I don't know about you guys and gals, but I really enjoyed that we did this Lady Death Little Naughty as a free bonus. And so every backer of Lady Death Treacherous Infamy, every physical backer is going to receive one of these 2.5 by 3.5 inch little comic books. So I couldn't resist doing it again. And if we unlock a certain pledge level, a certain free bonus, we are going to offer up the Hellwitch Little Risque edition. So this will be another miniature comic book about this size compared to a regular comic book. It's going to be filled with risque / topless images. I'm going to check. People are saying more bad behavior. You're right. Can never have enough bad behavior. See what we got here. Whoops. So, also wanted to take this moment to see if anyone would have any questions about this upcoming Kickstarter for Hellwitch Sacrilegious coming October 14th at 7 p.m. I don't know if it's going to be Pacific Daylight Time at that time of year, but I know it's going to be Arizona time. We'll see. We'll let you know. These are just some of the editions. Again, we have the Premiere Edition by Ed Benes and Cece De La Cruz. We have a mock-up of the hardcover edition by Paolo Pantalena in color by Paolo Pantalena. We have the Risque edition by Sun K. We have the Risque Jewel by Jose Varice, Jeremy Clark, and Sanju Nivenjun. We have the Holofoil edition by Richard Ortiz and Cece De La Cruz. And then we have a mock-up of the lenticular edition by Mike Chrome and Sanju Nivenjun. And so Mano Havoc is saying, is that hardcover image going to be a print? Yes. Then Andrew Vasquez is saying, got to cancel our anniversary dinner for this Kickstarter on launch night. And then Drake Correct is asking for what's the pledge amount for the Legend tier. So there will be 66 Legend tiers offered, 64 to the public, and the price on that one will be $6.99. And it's going to come with about 26 different books, most of the books offered in the campaign. So then leading off again here is the Legend tier. And do please keep in mind that the Legend tier will be coming with one additional mystery item, mystery comic, mystery edition. And I'm very happy to say that I think people are going to be really have a pleasant surprise on that one. You know, through the years, I've actually published comic books where people kind of get tricked. I remember doing one, it was Lady Death Crucible 1/2. We actually printed it on canvas. And to this day, most people think their canvas edition is actually original art. So I believe that when people receive this mystery edition, they're going to believe they are receiving original art. It's pretty cool. Then again, please do look at our pages as I check to see if there are any questions. What's the chapter number for this Hellwitch? That will be chapter 3. And it's sad that Al Rio is no longer with us to do a cover. Bill, I couldn't agree more. So do you have, let's see here. Zarin, as far as the metal and jewel editions, yes, we do. We just showed you the Risque Jewel, and we will show you the metal edition when we do our next preview on October 7th. And the question is, any figures or statues planned for Hellwitch? I think you should stay tuned to Crucial Con, because we actually have panels with Quarantine Studios who are doing some statues, and with Executive Replicas are doing some action figures. So you may want to attend to get news about that. I'm going to check out for the newer comments. Question about the extra, whoops, hang on a second. Would you ever consider doing miniatures for Lady Death Hellwitch in the future for tabletop games? Well, Nako, I know that that's not our area of expertise. I'd consider it, but we would have to partner up with somebody. It's outside of what we're able to do. Question about the extra pages. In the likely event that the goal for that isn't met, how exactly would that affect the story? Well, I think it's a good question, Matthew. I guess I'll give you a little pro tip and let you know that the 8 extra pages are likely to be among the first free bonuses that we unlock. We really want people to get that extra story. Rick Burns says, if I save now, maybe I can get a Legend. I agree. I think you should consider it. And let's see here. Jin Hu saying, you have a ton of cards from the 90s. That's fantastic. I love it. So Jesus is saying, no questions, just thanks for the Kickstarters and the extra rewards. You're very welcome.
Was it you tapped on Robert? He's the
okay. Oh, and how do I untap?
Good question.
We don't advocate people selling kidneys. So Carmen is suggesting the Chromebooks as non-lenticulars. I mean, I think stuff like that. I would suggest that you simply stay tuned. And through the years, it's always fun to take a look again at some of the images. You know, it's interesting too. There's sometimes we'll do books like, let's say, Lady Death Masters, My Chrome. I know that we have a naughty edition of that we haven't released yet. So there's always sort of tricks up our sleeve. And like you, Carmen, I looked at those images and I said that could be really strong on their own. So that would certainly be a consideration for the future. Let me see what else. Check out if there's any other. Any plans for a Coffin verse card set? I would love to do that. So the answer is I would love to do a 90s style card set. And it's something we are actually looking into. And one of the interesting things to navigate is what have we made a card? Because if those of you who have been following our Kickstarter campaigns, they have their own cards. So we actually, in an interesting way, have to, it's quite a puzzle. You know, certainly we can't repeat certain cards, etc. But totally up for the challenge. I love doing card sets. So it's a distinct possibility. So folks, I just want to let you know about some other things that are occurring during Crucial Con and other announcements. First thing I'd like to do is to talk about this Lady Death Chaos Rules Local Comic Shop Metallic Edition. This is a book that we were doing as a charitable fundraise to benefit local comic book shops in need. These are offered at $100, and Coffin Comics and our metal maker, Fairy Metal Photography, have completely thrown in their expenses, and the money that we raise, we've already sold dozens of these things, is going to go directly to comic shops. So we encourage people to consider it and to consider backing it. And also what I'd like to do is to swing around and show you some of the editions that we're offering right now during Crucial Con, and more information about them to follow even later today. So first up, I'd like to discuss this edition by the one and only Ryan Kincaid. This is the Lingerie Phoenix edition. I think he did a bang-up job. The original intention was actually to have this book premiere at Phoenix Fan Fusion, which is our local comic book convention, hence all the gorgeous callback imagery. So we're offering this in a nice edition, and then we're also offering it in a naughty edition, which was colored by Ryan himself. And you can find those by going to coffincomicsshop.com/ to Crucial Con. Another edition that we're offering is the Deathorama by our guest later today, Brian Miller, and also Ryan Kincaid will be a guest during Crucial Con as well. Just check coffincomics.com for the latest schedule. Love this Coffinorama. It's got a great, cool exploitation poster vibe. These will also be available as prints. And also, we've just completed the first instant edition by Monty Moore. It's looking good. It is a Lady Death as a Witch Halloween theme sitting on a jack-o'-lantern. This will usher in the wonderful Halloween season that we all love and adore. So please consider that. As that image is updated with color, etc., we'll be posting it for your consideration. And then upcoming today at 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, the one and only David Harrigan, the art assassin, is going to be doing his own instant edition, which is also currently for pre-order. So all these items that I'm showing you are available for pre-order until Monday at 5 p.m. Then we cut those orders off, and then the print runs are locked in for all time. So yeah, please consider those. I'm going to check one more time to see if there are any comments. Get my glasses. Rick Burns is asking, why must you release so much awesome stuff? You know, I got to admit one thing about myself. Anyone who knows this about me at Coffin Comics is I'm like hyper productive. I love doing this. I like just always having tons of stuff going on. And I realize that people should only responsibly get what they, you know, whatever is within your means or your interest. I don't actually believe that everything we put out, everybody should always go after. I know it's a lot. So, you know, do whatever you think is great. You know, get on board. Let's see here. Definitely go get on board with this Kickstarter. It'll be my second. Brian, thank you so much. I think that'll be great. And then Mega Man is talking about a new T-shirt. Well, we just offered a Coffin Comics logo T-shirt and hoodie. So that was during the Lady Death Treacherous Infamy. Now, a friendly reminder, Lady Death Treacherous Infamy the surveys open up on Monday, and that also means that a pop-up shop is coming along. So if you're interested in a t-shirt, that'd be the right time to grab it. In conclusion, I'd also like to show you, if I may, some of the the free bonuses that are coming in from the Treacherous Infamy campaign. So here is a little print of a giant lady. This is a 6x9 Queen of Hell Deathzilla image. This is the calendar by Sun K. This is the campaign sticker. We like to do something that signifies each campaign. So this is our campaign sticker, 5 inches by 5 inches. This is the one and only magnet, Ken Lashley art. This is the button. So this is a 1.25 inch punk rock style button featuring Diego Bernard, CC De La Cruz art. This one's super cool. This is the campaign holofoil card. What's neat about this is it talks about how many returning backers we had and how many brand new backers. It's a super cool card. And that's that. So look, I'm going to check this one more time, see if there's any other questions. Check it. Did you miss any information about Swornfest, or is it coming up during Crucial? We have nothing to announce about Swornfest. As it is right now, we're monitoring the situation from the health perspective. Here in Arizona, we're not allowed to have gatherings more than 50 up until this point. Also, our perspective is that Swornfest is a global event and people do come from outside of the country. We have guests from outside of the country. We have attendees from outside of the country. And right now, our borders are locked. So that is something that we're monitoring. So no real updates. And then, can I wait after the 3rd to complete my survey? I want to add something. I think you can. We'll be opening surveys for 2 weeks. So it opens on Monday. So you have, well, actually, yes. Let's see here. The answer is yes. Speaking of cards, do you have any plans for doing play cards? That's a fun idea. And then Carmen wants to see a metal card campaign. We actually have a metal card. Fun thing about metal cards happening sometime in the next month. You'll see what I mean when that happens, but we have a cool little plan with metal cards. Let me see here. Oh yeah, so Rick Burns for sure. Thank you for being interested in our Halloween books. We love Halloween, and we do have some fun thing in store for you. We have 2 Halloween promotions coming up in October. The first is All Hallows Evil on October 9th. And then our second promotion is on October 23rd, and that's called Halloween Spectacular. And I don't want to overhype it, but we really had a lot of fun on those. And I can tell you that on the Halloween Spooktacular, we are going to be offering something we've never done before. So that's kind of cool. We're making a lot of announcements during Crucial Con, but I ain't announcing that. You got to stay tuned, but it's cool. It's something that's been in our research and development department for some time. So everybody, just want to thank you so much for attending. This has been the Hellwitch Sacrilege Kickstarter preview. We're going to sign off, but don't go too far too fast, because coming at 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, we have the David Harrigan Instant Edition Live. Be there. You guys have been great. I've been Brian Pulido. This is Crucial Con. See you at 4 p.m. We'll see you.